Rise and shovel, mothers and brothers, and cheese wedges and handlebars all over the world. Rise and shovel, not shovel and grovel. Rise and shine and shovel. Shovel and shine. All right, so we have a little snow today. And of course, you give people a break and you get a break. That's how it works in life. What? So far, 4 to 6 inches. I don't know what we're expecting today. Let me just turn that down a little bit so we can hear. I just did a little bit of shoveling and cleaning off the cars, and it's all good, man. The hype about snow is worse than the snow. I shared this with a client yesterday. A fella who came in, no names, and he had gone through a breakup, and he really needed some guidance. I just felt like he was just asking, like, what should I do? What should I do? Excuse me while I'm shaking up my breakfast. I got my protein, my green tea, chia, psyllium husk, all kinds of good stuff in here. So let me just take a little sip before I do anything here. Love that. Love that breakfast, man. Oh, and peach yogurt. Here's the deal. Epictetus said men are not disturbed by things, but by their opinions about those things. That's all part of things like rational recovery, like Albert Ellis, and all kinds of interesting psychological things. When I was working on my master's degree, I always went for the more rational stuff and less psychobabble bullshit, which never helped anyone. We have more counselors, psychiatrists, therapists, life coaches, more than ever in the history of the world, and yet the world is more screwed up than ever. I can probably say with a fair amount of accuracy that it's because of the counselors and the therapists and the life coaches and the psychiatrists and all the bullshit that people have been teaching. Enough of trying to understand why things happen and why you are the way you are. That's bullshit. Total bullshit. And if you're a psychological professional, I don't mean to hurt your income in any way. My advice is less psychobabble, more action. Less of years of counseling and therapy and more action. Just make it happen. You know what you have to do. And use social media to get your word out. That's all. All right, so here's the deal. Epictetus said men are not disturbed by things, but by their opinions about those things. So here's a fellow that went through a breakup. It hurts. God, I know. I went through divorce. I've broken up with people and got broken up with, and, that's life. It happens. And what you don't want to do, some of my guidance that I gave him was make sure that your ways of coping with your pain are not worse than the pain. Make sure that your ways of coping with the pain do not create consequences that are worse than the pain. Okay, so you go through a breakup, something happens negative in your life, and then you drink. What does that do? What does that do? You end up creating more problems with the alcohol. Health goes downhill, oversleeping, having problems at work, all your other relationships get screwed up because your emotions are now chemically induced and they're not natural anymore. So what happens is you're suffering now from an issue that's a layer removed away from the original problem. And then you got to deal with the drinking. Hey, I got to stop drinking. And now and then you're tempted to think, well, maybe I'm an alcoholic. Maybe it's in my genetics. Maybe I don't go there with that. I'm a rational recovery guy. So the whole thing is this. If in a relationship you're saying things like, if this relationship ever ended, if she ever left me, or if something ever happened to her or him, it would just kill me. It would be the end of my world. Well, guess what happens? If that does happen, then guess what? Your world does fall. Your world does end. Everything crashes. If you believe that to be true. What if relationships are kind of like the condiments. They're like salt and pepper and ketchup and mustard on a meal. They kind of help it along. Relationships kind of help your life along. You don't put dirt or poop on your food, do you? Why? Because it'll make it taste worse. You put stuff on your food that makes it a little bit better, that improves the taste. Relationships are kind of like those condiments. You put positive things in your life and it enhances and improves your life. If you're running around thinking that the person that you're with right now is just making you happy, what you're actually setting yourself up for is absolute failure. Absolute failure, because if that relationship ever leaves, and of course everything built on it. So like if you're shacking up with someone and you need both incomes to support the damn roof over your head because you also have a car payment, or you both have car payments, guess what happens if you break up? You're out on your ass on the curb. So I tell people, don't shack up. And I'm old school like that. I'm very old school. Well, you don't need a piece of paper. Yeah, you don't. Well, then enjoy your life on the curb. Take my word for it. You need to be self-reliant and self-sufficient. I have struggled with that for damn ever. Forever. That's been a hard thing to do. Because I'm lonely. I don't have a family. I'm lonely. Shut up. Jesus, shut up. Men are not disturbed by things, but by their opinions about those things. If your opinion about breaking up is that it's the worst thing that can happen, your life will end, guess what? It's going to be the worst thing that will ever happen, and you'll feel like it's the end of your life. Everything is controlled in your life by your opinions about those things. Everything. Even the consequences. For instance, there are absolutes. There are people who argue in this world that there's no absolutes. Kiss my ass. There's absolutes. Tell me there's no gravity. Step off of a roof. Guess what? It doesn't matter what you believe about gravity, you're going down. Okay? That's an absolute. All right? I don't have to see things all the time to believe that they're there. If I see a tree swaying, going back and forth like this, I can pretty safely come to the assumption that there's wind blowing. Why? Because I see the effects of that wind. A tree is bending in the wind. I looked outside my bedroom window today. The snow was snowing sideways and the trees were at about an angle like this. And the only thing I could think was, snowstorm. I don't see the wind, I see the effects of the wind. When I look at a person's life and their life is not doing too well, I can safely assume a couple things. Things that I don't see. They might be in a bad relationship. 9 times out of 10, if your life is fucked up, the reality is you've made bad relationship decisions. It's not financial decisions. You've made bad relationship decisions. Readjust your thinking that relationships are just like salt, pepper, ketchup, and mustard. They are there to enhance your life. They are not the meal. Did you ever see anyone sit down and just put a bunch of ketchup or mustard on a plate and then salt and then pepper and then eat it? No. Condiments, things that you add to food, are not the meal. You got me on that? They're not the meal. They're meant to enhance the taste and the experience of the meal. Relationships are the same. If you try to if your life revolves around another person, you are going to have so much damn trouble. Here's a guy just pulling right out in the middle of the street. Men are not disturbed by things, but by their opinions about those things. My opinion is that guy is an asshole right now. Oh, and I'm not going to give him a salute as I drive by. Literally, he just backed up into the street without looking. There's always going to be something that's going to try to throw you off your game. Always. I don't care who you are, where you are, what country you live in. If you live in a high-rise, you live in a yurt. It doesn't matter. There's always something that's going to throw you off. Make a decision before you even roll out of the sack in the morning that you're not going to let shit bother you. Okay? Men are not disturbed by things, but by their opinions about those things. We have a lot of crazies. Of course, the crazies get all the media attention. Peace never makes the headlines. I've always said this. In Beards Without Borders, war makes headlines. Chaos, disruption makes the headlines, but never peace. Peace never makes headlines. That's why I like doing Beards Without Borders. And I always like saying, peace be with you. Because I would rather be a promoter of peace. Instead, United States. Who's getting the attention right now in the United States? All the nut jobs. Everyone arguing and disagreeing with everything. Who's getting all the time on social media? Nut jobs. Okay? And I'm talking on both sides of the political spectrum. Okay? Be a gentleman or a gentlewoman. It's not, the politics is not bothering you. It's your opinion about those politics. Okay? You're going to prosper. If you think for 1 second that who's in the White House is going to affect your income. Now, maybe the regulations running your business. I'm all for keep your fucking hands off of my business. Stay the hell out, laissez-faire. Get the hell out of my business. Get the hell out of my wallet. Get the hell out of my bedroom. Just, okay? That's what the government needs to do. Period. That's all. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Let's go back to Epictetus, who said that. There are things that are not bad unless you think they are bad. There are things that are only good if you think they are good. It's the Dick Vermeil story. Dick, is this good wine? And he says, do you like it? The person said yes. And then his reply was, well, then it's a good wine. So a lot of times the subjectivity, and when I say that something is subjective, that means it's subject to your opinion, subject to your thoughts on it. Okay, that's what a subjective reality is. Objective, like gravity, is an objective reality. Okay? Step off of a roof, you're going to go down. On Earth, anyways. Gravity doesn't care what you think about it. Money doesn't care what you think about it. What is your opinion about money? People are not disturbed by money, but by their opinion about money. Is money something that everyone else always had? Is it something you had to struggle for? I love what Stuart Wilde says. You never tell an apple tree, produce apples. I'm waiting. Where's those apples at? Guess what? When you provide sunshine, earth, and water, proper nutrients, the sunshine, an apple tree naturally produces apples. And one apple tree can produce more apples than you could ever consume in 1 year. It's amazing. What about you? What about your production? What do you feel? That's why I hate rise and grind. Grinding today, off to the barber shop and grinding, off to the grind, rise and grind, grinding till the sun goes down. If you think your work is grinding and hustling and hard work, guess what? You're not being like the apple tree. Put yourself in good relationship or not. You don't have to be in a relationship. Relationships are the condiments that make life better, but they are not your life, says the single man right now, by choice. And I'm also open to meeting a nice lady at this point, but I'm not searching, because what I'm not doing is I'm not letting my emotions or hormones or situation determine who I choose. And I'm in a what's really nice about being in that situation, in that state, is that I get to choose. No one's choosing me. I get to choose. And I'm healthy and happy. And sometimes it's better to be in that situation. Relationships are the condiment. What is your opinion about relationship? Do you need a relationship, or is it something that adds to your life? You know, I have to say, I'm driving in the Sultan XB. My neighborhood had a snowy road, 4 to 6 inches. I don't know if it's stopping. It looks like it's stopping where I'm at now. I'm close to work. And I will tell you that the Sultan XB kicked some serious ass in the snow. This is the first real snowstorm that I've had this vehicle in. And I really like it. It handles well. I got good tires on it, obviously. I'm not driving like a maniac. I'm a speed limit guy in a car. On a motorcycle, it's a different story. But I'm really happy with the way... Now, if we got a foot or more, it might be different, because the Sultan XB has a very low... the ground, I don't know what they call it, like the apron that goes around the bottom of the car seems to be fairly low. And I'm not a big fan of that. It seems to be the perfect car for perfectly flat streets with no snow, because there is the potential, if I have a foot of snow, there is the potential that I could end up being a snowplow in the Sultan XB. All right, so you got that? Men are not disturbed by things, but by their opinions about those things. How can you extrapolate something from that? Comment down below. If you're not subscribed to this channel, please do so. I would like you to bang the thumbs up button and like this video. If you agree or disagree with me, that is fine. I'm not creating an army of people that just agree with me. It's okay to disagree, or it's okay to comment on things. You have permission to do that. I like the fact that I want to be as constructive as possible. Today's jacket is this is an Eddie Bauer winter parka, wool lined, with it's got thin slit and a nice wool lining. I wanted natural. I love this. I've had this for literally 20 years, and the darn thing is just as effective and beautiful and holding up now. Like, when you buy quality, man, you buy once. When you buy shit, you got to buy over and over and over. The hat, oops, beard. The hat, I love this darn thing, man. I wear this when it snows like crazy because of the very wide brim. And it keeps the snow off of me. So I'm going to be walking through some snow on the way into work. Hey, I hope you have a great day, everybody. I am in awe of the responsibility of the new YouTube live feature. And I'm figuring out how often I want to do it and what I want to do, whether it be a show or in a regular place, or if I travel with it. I'm not sure what kind of guests I want. The responsibility is great, because there's going to be sponsors if you're interested in sponsoring. I don't even know the name of the show yet. It's going to be on a regular basis. I'm guessing it's going to be an hour-long show that I'm going to have every night. It will be archived, and I will be doing commercials as well and promoting products. So if there's things that you want to promote or sponsor, that will be welcome as well. Hey, have a great day.